Okay, for purposes of recording. Good evening. Hope you're well. Welcome to Stretch and Flex class. And I'm going to be today just doing a really nice full body because it's just after Christmas and everyone is feeling a little bit stiff and then slightly knackered. So we'll do something that covers the whole thing. If you have any questions, of course, unmute yourself if you're live, or if you're having questions when you're watching this on demand, then just send me a message, no problem. Right, we're going to start standing up this evening, and I'm going to flow up and down a little bit at the moment. So hopefully you can see me okay. If there's, I'll move the camera around if need be. Okay, so hip width apart with your feet, and I just want you to just wiggle. You can't see this on camera, but I just want you to wriggle your toes. So just give them a little wriggle. That's it. Okay, so lifting yourself up onto one foot, and then very slightly requiring your balance there. We just want to roll our ankles. Okay, just give them a roll, back and forth, just a few circles one way, a few circles the other way. If you're absolutely having a mare with balance, which let's face it, on occasion we all do, then you can just put your foot down low, and that's a little bit easier. So let's swap to the other side. And if it's really bad, just sit down. That's it, one way then the other. Lovely. Okay, just give your legs a little jig, just back and forth. Right, okay, arms all the way up, remaining hip width apart. Arms up to the ceiling and hold onto your hands. And we're going to think nice and tall, and then you're going to just lift up nice and slowly, nice and tall, and then bring it back down and release. And let's do that again. So all the way up, grip hold of your hands, and then just nice and slowly lifting up onto your toes. Feel that right at the back of your legs and back down. And let's go one more. So you're feeling like you're being stretched out on a rack. Up, lift, 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 and down, and rest down. Lovely. Let's roll those shoulders. Both of you are aware of this, but for those of you watching this and recording, I have actually injured my shoulder, so there's going to be some bits that I might be a little bit not so good on, so I'll try to do my best. Just roll and roll. Lovely. Okay, bringing your hands together, and let's just roll those nice and slowly as well. If you have been typing today, this might be a tad clicky, and they might be a little bit sore, but just give them a click out, and this kind of works quite nicely, and just give them a shake. Putting one hand out in front of you, we're going to bring your fingertips backwards using the other hand. Now, this isn't a forceful move, it's just a suggestion that they're coming back. Keep your arm nice and straight, and you should feel that along your forearm, okay? Again, if you have been typing a lot, that's usually fairly tight. And let's swap sides, so push back. That's it. And let's swap back again. And back again. Nice and strong. And bringing your arms down. Lovely. Right. Let's do a little bit of a roll down and roll up. So we're going to do a little combination. I'm just going to move the camera down slightly. So a variation on the roll down that we normally do. So chin to chest, roll it down. So curving your back, hands sliding down your legs. Rolling it down nice and slowly. If you don't make the floor, no problem. Just near. If you have made the floor, hands just gently resting, dropping your head, holding it here, and just take a nice deep breath in and relax it right down. Deep breath in and relax. And again, deep breath in, relax. Good. Okay. Now, if your hands are fairly near the floor, fantastic. If they aren't quite yet, I want you to bend your legs either way, and so eventually your hands will be able to sit on the floor, and you're going to come, oh, excuse me, excuse me, come into a squat position. Okay, so we're down into a squat position. I want you to lift your head. Your back should be relatively straight. And you should feel that down the back of your legs here. And it should just start to work your quads. Drop your head and straighten your legs again. And then we're going to leave the floor and roll up nice and slowly. Bring your hands up your thighs again. One nice big circle all the way around. And then we're going to roll it down again. So curving down. Your back is curved, not straight, coming down to the floor. So just try really hard to relax your head. So this time now, we're going to just do little tiny circles, a semicircle, around and then around, a tiny bit more dynamically than we do normally. Around, round and round, that's it. Feel one set of hamstrings stretching more than the other, and then back over to the other side. Come back to the center, and then hands down, bending your knees. Lift your head slightly. Just try and keep your back relatively straight. Feel that right in those calves. And then bring yourself back up and hold it here. Now what I'd like you to do is you're going to straighten and bend your leg alternately. So you're doing a little cycle. So push your knee back, push your knee back. If that's just too difficult when you're really, really low, just bring yourself up a little bit. Okay, so either or, just as long as you're feeling that stretch. Stretch back to your hips slightly dipping. That's it. And then straighten your legs. And then we're going to roll up one more time. Nice and slowly. Nice slow roll up. That's it. When you come to the top, we're just going to roll those shoulders again. Wonderful. Okay. Just a little bit of hip movement as well. Just come a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. So hands onto your hips. And then we're going to point your knee forward and your toe onto the floor. And then we are lifting up. And then we're going to swing that leg backwards and straight. Okay, a little bit of balance required here. So same leg lifting up. Now this is actually sort of giving your hip joints a little massage. Swinging it up. Normally we would do this in the start of a PT session. We would go a little bit faster on this one, but I just really want you to feel that massage coming in here and that stretch. And back. And requiring your balance this evening. All the way up. I promise I won't do that too much. And back. All right, and the other side. So just give your legs a little wriggle. Reset your weight, and then we're lifting up. Nice and slowly pushing through and back and up. Pushing through and back. Lovely, just keep that moving. Push through and back. And that's the final one, pushing through and back. Lovely. Okay, just give your legs a little jig. Right, whilst we're up here, I'll just move back again. We're going to just start to do a few standing twists. So first one, we're going to go slow, and then we're going to go a tiny bit faster. So one hand over across your body, one hand tuck it behind you, keeping your hips stable and to the front, and then we're just going to twist round. That's it, looking over your shoulder, holding it there, deep breath in, release and back to the center, and then the other way, so over and tuck that back, twist, deep breath in, and back. And let's repeat that again. So one over and one over, twist it round, deep breath, and back. And again, one side and the other, deep breath, spin round, and back to the center. Lovely. Okay, so tiny bit more dynamic now. I'd like you to bend your knees, so not into a squat, but just keep them soft. Hands together here first, and then we're going to twist and twist, keeping your hips centered and still. Okay, twist and twist. Apologies for the very slight noise in the background. Hopefully it's masked with this. And twist and twist. Come back to the center. Right, we're going to do a variation on that. So arms out now. They don't need to be completely straight, but we're just going to twist and twist. So if you bring your palms up, twist and twist. This is a little bit more challenging because you really have got to keep those hips facing forwards, and it kind of wants to twist with you to get that full upper body twist. Just keep everything lower body still. Twist and twist, coming back to the center and bring it down. Lovely. Right, we'll do a little bit more supine twist when we're on the floor. So probably about time that we got onto the floor now. So if you want to, if you are with a mat, if you want to just come to one end of the mat, and then we're going to roll down. I'm just going to move the camera down slightly so you can see me when I am down. Okay, so not just getting onto the floor, we'll just roll down onto the floor. Bring yourself all the way down, hold it here for a second, and then we're going to walk it forwards, and you're into a downward dog position. So just push those heels back, and again, if your calves and hamstrings are tight, this is going to feel like quite a strong stretch. So really think about that downward dog. Sit bones nice and high, back nice and straight, head solidly in between your arms. Push those heels away from you. Now we're going to do the same thing that we did standing. So just cycle those legs, push it back and push it back. Push and push. Let's go a couple more. Push and push. Okay, and bringing it down onto all fours. Oh, lovely. All right, hopefully you can see me okay. Right, so when we're here, nice and simple, we're going to start nice and simply, loving the good old cat and cow stretch. So just really think when you're going through this into your cow, just start to think, okay, I really need to sort of concentrate on extending this. So all the way up, really push it up, through to the center, and release it down. Just nice and slow, there's absolutely no hurry. All the way up, through, and release all the way down. And let's go one more, all the way up. Nice and high at that top, through to center, and really sink that down, looking up, and then back to center again. Okay, we're going to lean down, and we're going to go into child's pose. Now, apologies, because I'm not going to be able to do this side, so I'm going to leave one side down and one side up. You can obviously do the same if you want to, but it's going to be too painful for my shoulder. So both arms should be out, unless you have a shoulder injury. And then we've got head down. If you prefer to split your knees, that's absolutely fine. If you want to keep them together, it's also absolutely fine. I just prefer a slight split because you can just get a bit lower. Now really, really enjoy this stretch, okay? It is the most relaxing stretch that, that we can do. And if you've had a stressful day and you're like, really seriously need to calm, this is an excellent one for that. So just take nice deep breaths in and then really relax it out. Okay, just enjoy that stretch. Lovely. Okay, I'm finishing off the last breath with this position. Deep breath in and release. Okay, and just slowly rolling your way out of that and just stay on the back of the heels. We're not going to stay here for too long because I know it's uncomfortable. Now we're going to do a variation of the child's pose. So we're actually going to come across one side and then bring that across to the other side. You can probably see a tiny bit of a theme happening. So one then the other. So again, it's normally with two hands in front. I'm obviously going to have to do this with one. So what you're doing is actually pushing your bum cheek and your hip out, and you're coming across the opposite way. So you should feel that slightly in one side, right by your ribs. And now semicircle the whole thing across and then come across the other way. Lovely. Okay, bringing it back across again. Just where you were first, just drop that head, take a deep breath in. And then you're coming across again the other way. So pushing your hip out the other way and drop that head. Feel that really good stretch right around your ribs. And coming back into center. And then nice and slowly rolling your way up out of that. Wonderful. Okay, we're going to do a variation on that as well. So what I'd like you to do is actually come to the side now. So just sit your weight to one side. And we're going to sit in our little mermaid position. And we're going to flow from one side to the other now. So first of all, I'd like you to go the way that seems more obvious. So there will be a natural way that you tip. So if you put your hand down, bringing your arm up, and then you're going to try really hard to use your hand and push your bum back down again when you do that stretch. So it's quite easy for that to happen. So if you just push, use your hand and push that bum down so both bum cheeks are on the floor. If you are really, really struggling with that, first of all, don't lean over so much, but secondly, we can just use a cushion and prop yourself under there, and that will force your hips more evenly. So you've always got that option to put the cushion underneath. It doesn't need to be a huge cushion, just prop you up slightly. If your hips are behaving this evening, then you shouldn't need it. Okay, beautiful ballerinas. We're going to come the other way. It's slightly less natural. Just be aware of what your hip and knee are doing. So if you can only do that, that's absolutely fine. If you can come over, please don't assume that you can come over the same amount. You won't be able to. Just really get a nice stretch and use your hand as a bit of a weight. And let's flow back up and over again. That's it. Remember to push both bum cheeks down. Really feel that stretch. And then flowing back up and over again. Again, stretch all the way down there. Should feel lovely. One of my faves, this one. Okay, and coming back to center. Now we're going to just lean backwards and beautifully and elegantly swap your legs to a Little Mermaid the other side. Okay, so again, there'll be a natural way that you want to fall. So let's start there. Again, propping your cushion underneath this side if you need to make sure that your hips are even. Hand to the side, up, nice and tall and over. Really nice big stretch down one side. And then we're coming up and over the other side. Again, just be aware of your hip and your knee on that. If there's too much pressure on it, don't come anywhere near so low. And you can also avoid bringing your hand over. That adds weight if it's not comfortable. This whole thing should be very, very comfortable, very relaxing and nice and slow. Just relax your legs if they're starting to tense. Your muscles are just starting to do this. Just try to relax them consciously and flow back over to the other side. And bring yourself back to center. Lovely. Okay, bringing your knees and feet together. I want you to just lean backwards. I'm just going to spin to the side so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, just gently lean backwards, and I want you to push your shoulder blades slightly together so your chest is upright. We're not arching, just keep yourself stable and your posture correct. So I would like you to come onto your toes, and then you're going to rock very, very gently. Charlie, from one side to the other. Okay, so toes are on the floor, but you're just elevating your heels just to make it easier to come up and over. Up and over. Now, it's not necessarily, I'm just going to spin back around so you can see how far I'm going. It's not necessarily to the floor yet. We're just pendulum swinging. So you should feel a stretch around the glute area and your hips. And again, it should be quite gentle, and then it should be coming up into your obliques as well. Up and over. And one more up and over. Okay, now come back to the center. Just rearrange yourself if you need to, and then we're going to drop entirely down to one side. Okay, so you're dropping down to one side. If that's not happening, obviously, don't come down so far. But if you can, you're just resting your knees on the floor. Okay, you should feel that there's a stretch there. You're twisting, there should be a stretch there, okay? Hold it there. Deep breath in. And relax. Good. Okay, deep breath in and lift them up. On the out breath, lift. And then we're coming across to the other side. So rearrange if you need to. That's it. Apologies, I'm just going to have to move my shoulder slightly. That's it. So you're bringing it down. Get that twist. You're keeping your shoulders towards me, chest towards me, knees the other way. Now, if you want to extend that slightly, you're looking over. But it should be enough of a twist to start with. Okay, let's bring this up and repeat the other side. So bring it all the way down. Now again, if you want to extend this, you're looking over. Deep breath in. And up. And then let's go to the other side. So bringing it across and looking over and twist. And again, deep breath in. And relax. Okay, bring yourself up to center. Just bring yourself forwards. And then we're going to cross our legs. Now, with regards to crossing your legs, if you can put the one that's naturally more comfortable in front, that's usually your lead leg. So if you're right-handed, usually right-footed, it will be your right in front. Make sure there's enough space to ensure that your knees can come down and your hips can therefore relax. So first things first, just get into that position. I want you to put your hands down to the side and then just straighten your back. I'm going to do this to the side. So you should be feeling nice and relaxed. And just do a big round circle with your shoulders and just push your shoulders down. Head looking forwards and try really hard just to relax those knees. If you are up here, that doesn't matter, just as long as you're trying to relax wherever you are. Okay, now your shoulders should be back and down, and now we're going to look down towards our lap. So you should be feeling a stretch around your neck. Keeping it there. And now very slightly leaning forward. So you're looking down and you're leaning forward. Now you should start to feel that stretch around your back, actually. Keep your hands where they are. The lower you go, your hips start to get involved, but keep that chin towards your chest. Don't go too low. Very, very controlled. And hopefully get to a point where you're sort of a little bit lower, but I don't want your bum to stop lifting. Just keep it there. This is stronger than it looks. And then if you're looking at this and not doing it yet, it's like, oh, that doesn't look too difficult. It's actually fairly strong. Bring yourself back up, lifting your head, and then relax. That's it. So you really do need to keep quite still, and it's your hips. So you're moving from your hips, not from your back, okay? So we'll do that again, but try really hard not to curve your back. And you should feel it in your hips, your back, and your neck if you're doing that correctly. So let's give that another go if you didn't quite do it correctly first time. So let's just roll it back, hands on the floor if they're able to reach. Drop your head down, and we're looking into our lap. So once you're in that position, you should feel that fairly strong in the first place. And now, if you want to, obviously optional, just lean forwards. Feel your back muscles very mildly engage. Feel your hips mildly engage, and feel your neck. Now don't worry about going too low because your bum will start to lift. Hold it there when you're in a position where that's stretched. Hold it there, nice deep breath. And then we are rolling it up nice and slowly. Deep breath in, head looking up, and relax. Very good, lovely. Okay, right, now we're going to fold ourselves all the way down. So I'm just going to move slightly so you can see, hands in front this time, and then we're going to crawl ourselves nice and gently forwards. Now, if we are, keep going if you're okay to. If you are up here, then I'd like you to just try and ease your way forwards. You are bending your back on this one, so just ease your way forwards. Try to touch as far away as you can and drop your head. If you are right down, so your knees are completely on the floor, just ease your way, keep going, stretch out. I'm just going to do that, sorry. And then head down to the floor. Keep it there. Wherever you are, it should be comfortable, but feeling the stretch in your hips and your inner thighs. So there shouldn't be any discomfort that you've gone so far that you're hurting yourself. It still needs to remain comfortable. Just take nice deep breaths when you're down there. That's it. Lovely. Finishing the deep breath that you're doing. And then if you're really low, you're going to start crawling your way back up. If you're not quite so low, you're just going to straighten your back and bring your hands into your lap. When you're ready, lovely. Okay, right, now we're going to come a little bit lower. So again, hips should be feeling quite good. Neck should be feeling a little bit better. Back should be okay, but I want to do a little bit more work on that. So if you want to make sure that you've got enough space behind you, I'm just going to shimmy forwards. And then we're going to nice and gently roll our way down. So curl, tip your pelvis and just roll yourself. Just ensure that your core is doing a little bit of work. And then we're rolling ourselves down and make sure you're comfortable. First things first, just have a wriggle about and just make sure everything's completely comfortable. Your back is squarely on the floor. So if you need to get a cushion to make yourself comfortable, if you need to ensure that your pelvis is tilted enough that your back's flat, just have a little wriggle about, wiggle your toes, just make sure your feet are nice and flat on the floor. Hands, they can be sort of where you feel most comfortable. So onto your hip bones, onto the floor with palms up, palms down, above your head if you really fancy it. But personally, I'm most comfortable here. My elbow is really, really angry with me, so I'm going to put it there because it's not allowing me to do that today. Okay, so you should feel very comfortable right now once you've fiddled them out. Nice deep breaths here, deep breath in. And relax. Now, at first, things might be feeling a little bit achy, a little bit annoyed because you've been working all day and your back's angry. So just give it a chance to settle and relax. And when you're taking that deep breath in, once you relax, try and sink. Your glutes might be tight, everything might be just a bit like this, so just sink. Deep breath in. And let's go one more. Lovely. All right, should be feeling nice and comfortable now. I want to do a couple of glute stretches because actually I do them when we've done some glute work, but actually it's quite difficult to understand that your glutes are actually quite tight until you do these moves. You're like, God, they're actually really tight. So what I'd like you to do is put one knee over the other, so you're crossing your legs, and then just engage your core very slightly. So deep breath in, engage that core, and then you're going to lift both knees towards you. Okay, we're holding on to one knee and the other knee, one with each hand, and then you're just going to pull that nice and close towards you. And then if you want to extend that stretch very slightly, you're pulling your knees very slightly apart, away from each other. Just be careful with this one because it can be a little bit tight on the groin. And what you should find is that your top leg glute gets a really quite good stretch out. And even if you didn't think they were tight, they might be. Okay, nice and gently release that and just bring Use your core to control your legs down. Foot blades on the floor, and then we're going to swap legs. So other foot on the floor, crossing your legs. Take a deep breath in, engage your core, and lift your knees towards you. Again, just ensuring that your groin's not feeling a little bit strained, and then just bring your knees towards you. Now, how close that is going to be up to you, just as long as you're feeling that stretch, and then just slightly bringing those knees apart. You should be feeling this on the top leg, so the opposite leg. And just hold it there, nice deep breath in. Hold it there. Don't let the pressure go into your shoulders. Keep those nice and relaxed. Okay, and you're going to release and bring that down. Okay, so now we're going to try a variation on that. If you just use one leg, we'll come back down again, but if you just use one leg and just slightly rock and bring yourself up to seated, you have to slightly fiddle around with this one, but if I can show you. So keep your leg, one leg relatively long, leaning back, and then you're going to put the other leg on. If that is very much strong enough for your hip and your glute, and you're like, yep, oh God, I can feel that stretch, don't go any further and just sit there and just making sure that that knee is coming out. If you're like, no, I can't, yeah, it's okay, I can't really feel much. What you're going to do is you're going to work that foot in. Now, the more you work your foot in and bring your foot, your heel towards your glute, the more of a stretch you're going to get. So if you're able to, we're coming up relatively tight. Okay, so you're in quite a tight little V there. Just be aware of your ankle, just ensuring that we're not hurting your ankle. But the more you're bringing that foot in, the more of a stretch you're getting. You should feel it right around here, okay? Holding it there, just try and be aware of your posture. So shoulders back and just holding it here. Now, eventually, after about 15 seconds, it will start to relax. Nice deep breaths. Holding it there. There we go. Should just go, whoop, start to relax. So to get yourself out of this, just slide that foot away from you and then just replace your foot again. So just little tiny butterflies to get yourself out of that. Okay. Now we're going to repeat the other side. So again, start with one leg long. Hopefully you can see me okay. Then you're going to put that foot up and put it onto your foot. Again, if that is enough for you, and just staying there. If that's doing well, just try and ensure that that knee is trying to come down and away from you. If you're like, yeah, no, let's go for it, then you're going to bring that foot in and shimmy yourself in towards those glutes. And then you're going to come up as much as you can, making a little tiny V. Now, at first, everything goes, ugh. If you just really try very hard to relax that leg out, you are certainly going to find it easier on one side than the other. Very, very likely. And just try to relax. Holding it here. Teddy's decided to join in this evening. Teddy! Shh. Okay, so to get yourself out of that, again, slide your foot away from you and then you're bringing your foot down. Lovely. That should be quite a strong stretch, that one. So again, just to sort of relax a little bit out of that, I just want you to butterfly or diamond shape your legs, and we're going to, Teddy, the ferocious mutt, has come to join us. Just little tiny bounces, little butterfly wings. And then just stop the wing beating, and then you're going to lean forwards again. Now, again, this will depend on flexibility. Some people can just go straight down. But if you're like, no, that's not going to happen, and you're up here, again, just try to reach for your feet rather than coming all the way down. If you're quite comfortable, taking hold of your toes, and then we're just bringing ourselves down. Eventually, ideally, I'm not quite there yet. My hips won't allow, but you're going to bring your head to your feet. If you can do that, great. If you can't, we're working on it, so don't worry. Bringing that down. And just feel that stretch really nice and strongly on the inner thigh there. It's not the easiest of stretches, this one. That's it. Okay, nice and slowly rolling yourself out. Right, a couple more bits right on the floor before we roll ourselves back up. So again, you're just going to hands out in front and then roll yourself down onto the floor. We're going to take one knee with us this time. I'm going to do little tiny concentration on the hip flexors and a tiny bit more on the back. So just bring that knee right in and then you're going to sink the other leg away from you. Hopefully you can hear me. It doesn't matter if you can't put your leg completely on the floor. Just try and bring those knees in towards you and relax your shoulders. Okay, releasing that knee very slightly, and then we're going to bring your knee across. Bring that leg over. Guys, hopefully you can hear me okay still. And bringing yourself back up again. And then we're going to swap legs. Bring one in. Holding onto the leg and just bring that knee nice and close. Relax, relax and sink into this mat. And then you're going to bring that over. And back again. Okay, foot down onto the floor, and then you're going to lift that leg up, and then we're going to hold onto the back of your leg and just stretch out that hamstring. If you can, flex that foot. And then bring the leg down. And lift again, sorry for the noise. Flex that foot. And then release. Now we're going to just nice and slowly bring yourself up. So just use your leg and up again. Hopefully, guys, I'm so sorry because it keeps saying out of range. You can hopefully hear me still. So we're going to flip over and bring yourselves onto all fours again. And then we're just going to do a tiny little movement. So hands in front, sit yourselves back, touching your nose to the floor, bring yourself forward and come into a cobra. If that's not happening, then you can come lower, most definitely. Bring yourself back, tucking your toes under, dropping that nose to the floor. Curling it back up, hips forwards and release, just making sure that's not aggravating your back. It should be a nice stretch for your abs. And one more, bringing it back. Hold on. Nearly there, all the way forwards. And relax. Coming up onto all fours. And then tuck your toes under and come on just onto your toes. And then nice and gently, we're going to roll our way up. And roll our way up. All the way to standing nice and slowly. Wonderful. Okay. Finishing, as we always do, with our little sweeps. Okay, so hip width apart, hands out, and then we're down and all the way. Nice big stretch. And let's do that 2 more times, bringing it down all the way up, nice and tall, and lift. And last one, all the way down, up, and lift and release down. Wonderful. Thank you very, very much, everyone. Right.